When people look for guides to how to beat deity difficulty, I see hundreds of guides about how to, including mine, about how to optimize science and industry. Those are the two perceived most important aspects to, beating deity. It's not true. Culture is just important, and it is just as important. It is really important, if some say more important in certain styles of play, because civics are incredibly useful, and they are the things that really accelerate you through the game. Even from the beginning of the game, being able to produce settlers 50% quicker and builders 30% quicker is a useful thing, but by the time you get through to the end of the game and you're looking at 5% culture per city-state you're suzerain of, or the equivalent science per city-state you're suzerain of, 2 production and 5 gold from all trade routes, there are some amazing things. Governments that have 10 inherent policy cards, you want to be on culture as much as you can. This is the biggest thing I see when people focus on science, they forget culture. And if you forget culture, it's all very well being able to put up the Mars satellite, but if you haven't got to democracy yet, you're leaving so much on the table. Ideology, for instance, is one of the most useful civics in the game. Being able to combine campus and industrial zone district adjacencies into one card, you need to do it. There are lots of different ways of producing culture, including monuments and tile improvements, but the most important one is theatre squares. You don't need to have hundreds of great works in your empire for theatre squares to give you a lot of culture, providing you do the basics. Yes, they do give you writer, artist and musician points. That's all fantastic, but the adjacency bonuses are worth taking a look at because people focus on this. +2 culture from each adjacent wonder tile. They look at that and they go, oh, I'm not building any wonders. Oh, deity AI builds all the wonders. I can't do it. Well, shush you. That's not the only way you can do it. There are some amazing other ways of doing it. Yes, they get the minor adjacency of districts. 2 districts equals 1 culture. Yep, you get the standard adjacency from a government plaza, which don't forget is in addition to the regular district minor adjacency. But as of a few changes ago back in November, December last year, entertainment complex and water parks also give a major adjacency, +2 culture, as well as the district adjacencies. So, we're going to be talking about how to maximize theatre square adjacency. The 2 cards you want to keep an eye on are Grand Opera and Aesthetics. Aesthetics, it lives in medieval fairs and gives you plus 100% theatre square adjacency bonuses. Grand Opera lives in opera and ballet and is exactly the same as rationalism, but for culture. It gives you 50% extra culture from the buildings in a theatre square. That's an amphitheatre, an art or archaeological museum, and a broadcast centre. It gives 50% if the city population is 15 or higher, and 50% if the district has at least +4 adjacency. So, how do we maximise these cards? First thing you need to remember is that water parks and entertainment complexes are mutually exclusive. If you have one, you can't have the other. That's because you can only have one luxury complex building of some kind. Water park or entertainment complex. Generally speaking, you want to spice them up. Once you get through entertainment complexes, you get to zoos and stadiums, and water parks give you aquariums and aquatic centres. They don't stack. If you've got factories, aquatic centres in multiple cities, the amenities they spread only go once, but if you've got a stadium and then an aquatic centre, Rome would receive the benefit of both of them. It's often good to put water parks down in coastal cities and cities with lakes, however, because, quite often the others can't stretch. Much easier to put an entertainment complex down. So already you can see the major adjacency of this water park. That is now a +3. Again, its +4s are what you really need to be looking for, because if you don't get a +4, then you can't get the benefit of the Grand Opera policy card. So you've got to think about that a little bit. I will be putting a +3 here because there's the opportunity of me building a wonder on the tile inside. The Statue of Liberty needs to be here, but it can't be built on a lake. This is a little bit silly of me, but in theory, we could build another entertainment complex on this side, and that would work. So you can see we're starting to take shape now. Entertainment complex gives the major adjacency. And what I'm going to start to do is push my cities in a sort of triangle-esque formation to leave a space in the middle where I can be building all of these districts. By popping another entertainment complex here, followed by a theatre square here, that should give me the grand total of +2, +4, +5 for both theatre squares. So in the same way as before, what we're doing is we're building up a nice creative sort of plan in order to get these theatre squares surrounded. the moment this one is a nice +6 because we've got 2 entertainment complexes surrounding it with 4 districts. We can get this to a nice +7 eventually. This one, however, we've got bigger plans for. As you can see now, I've got a city over in misdirection, giving myself here a score for doing so. Look at this delightful little complex. I need to put a theatre square down and an entertainment complex down in such a way that it's going to really assist everyone. If I put the theatre square there, then the entertainment complex I put down is only going to benefit one of them. But if I put the entertainment complex here, then I can benefit this, and then whatever theatre square that I build over in misdirection. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So putting the entertainment complex on this tile, like so, and then putting the theatre square here, where it says +3, it's going to be a little bit better than that, I promise you. So it's a complicated arrangement, but it's a pretty good one. You can see here I've got +8 culture per turn coming in from that theatre square. That's double to 16. There's a +7, a +6, a +6, and the +4 over here. The +4 is all we need. Don't forget, that is literally the ultimate of what we need to get the policy card working. And you can see, look, we've got +31 coming in per turn, and we've got +5 culture coming in from the Grand Opera. That can be improved. The amphitheatre itself just gives +2 culture, so the bonus for 50% is only +1. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my cities have amphitheatres. So what we need to do now is think about getting art museums. The other aspect is, of course, getting all of your cities to 15 pop. It's worth having these large areas of farm. It's one of the main ways of doing it, as well as making sure your cities have 17 housing. 17 housing is by far the most important number you need to get to, because you can get to 2 underneath that. You can see I'm playing on a more advanced starting time at the moment, just for showing you all this, so housing's not an issue for me. But in order to do that, a couple of neighbourhoods, make sure you get your aqueducts down, your baths down, your dams, canals, anything it might be. There we go. Once you get to 15 pop, you get both aspects of the policy card kicking in. So you can see I'm getting 31 culture per turn and 14 culture per turn from those 2 policy cards, but we only really just got it started on this one. The amphitheatre is worth +4 culture because it's got the 100% bonus from 15 pop, and then also having 4 on the theatre square adjacency. The art museum has gone to 6 because it was on 2. It's gone to 4 because it was on 2. And the broadcast centre is also at 4 because it's not yet powered. Powering, actually, is a very important thing that I'm slowly doing, but I'm taking my time on. So 2 cities up to population 15, this one's up to population 14, we've got 12 and growing, 14. Rome is struggling a little bit, but I could get another builder involved. But that's good. Look, I'm now to 18 culture from Grand Opera and 31 from sports media. If we again have a drill down into it, you can see the broadcast centres are now worth +12 because we've got the bonus of the +6, and then doubled for the 15 population, and then also for the adjacency. If we wanted to as well, you can play around with things like symphonies to get 4 musician points per turn, plus another 4 for every broadcast centre. That's a lot. That is an absolutely large amount. And also frescoes to give you 2 artists +2 for every art museum. So once that all goes through, you can see you start to really accelerate through here. 15 great writer points per turn, 30 artist points per turn, and 27 musician points per turn. That's not bad really, is it? We can't really complain. But you can see just with 6 cities, I'm already at almost 300 culture per turn, and I've barely upgraded any of these. You can see there's no broadcast centre in either that city, although this one's just finished it admittedly, but in fact actually I've got 3 broadcast centres going now. Okay, yeah, I've built more than I thought, but I mean, still, culture is incredibly powerful. People just forget about this adjacency, and look, this is how easy it is to get adjacency of theatre squares going. Play this with Japan, or with Byzantium or Brazil, and you're going to have a really, really good time. But even with your neutral, unimproved, average civs, this is a lot of fun. You should really give it a go. And finally, a very special shout out goes to Scott Stratton, Major King Kong, Matthew Wilkinson and Salty Tech for all of your support on Patreon, as well as everybody else who's joining the community and making this place a fantastic space to be. Thank you guys, you keep me going.